Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Melissa and I'm the owner of seasonandserveblog.com. We are continuing my Lunar New Year series here on my channel, and today we are making some delicious clams in black bean sauce. Clams are often eaten during Lunar New Year because they symbolize prosperity. The clams themselves are round and are reminiscent of coins. These clams have a delicious umami flavor from the black beans that are added, as well as a nice smokiness and spiciness from dried red chilies and some green chilies as well. So if you want to see how I make my clams with black bean sauce, just keep on watching. We'll begin by chopping up our ingredients, starting with our garlic. I'm using about 4 garlic cloves here. You can add as much or as little garlic as you want. Just make sure to chop it up really finely, and then once that's chopped up, we're going to set it aside in a bowl for later. And next we'll chop up our ginger. Having ginger with seafood is always really traditional in Chinese recipes, so we're going to add about a tablespoon of ginger here. To prepare the ginger, I'm just going to remove the skin, and then I'm just going to dice it into small pieces about the same size as the garlic. Then once that's chopped up, I'll just set it aside in the same bowl with the garlic. Next, we're going to slice up 2 shallots. I'm going to leave these in pretty big chunks so that you can actually eat the shallots as you eat the clams. So once these are sliced up, I'm just going to add them to the bowl and set that aside for now. Next, I'm going to set aside 10 dried red chili peppers. Since they're dried, they are not that spicy, but they end up adding a really nice smokiness to this dish. And this is really great because you can actually taste the flavor of the clams without getting overwhelmed by a lot of spice. Then to add a little bit more flavor and some bright green color, I'm going to chop up a green Anaheim chili pepper. Anaheim chili peppers have a little bit of spice, but it's nothing like a jalapeno or a serrano. It is like a slightly spicy bell pepper. So not too much spice, but it adds a beautiful texture and color. And besides the clams, the star of this dish is the dried fermented black beans. All you have to do to prepare these is just run them under some cold water to clean them up and to rehydrate them a little bit. I'm only using about a tablespoon in this recipe because they are a little bit funky and they will overpower the dish if you add too much, so we'll stick with just a tablespoon. In addition to these whole dried fermented black beans, I'm also going to add some black bean paste. This is just a ground up mixture of black beans and garlic and some other seasonings, and you can find this jarred in your Asian grocery stores. To the black bean sauce, I'm going to add about a tablespoon of oyster sauce just to enhance those fishier flavors in the clams, and then I'm going to add a tablespoon of low sodium soy sauce. I'm going to mix everything together, and then the sauce for our clams is done, so I'm going to set that aside for later. So in this recipe, I'm using some local manila clams from Vancouver Island, and I picked these up from my favorite fish store in the city, Finest at Sea. All I've done to prepare these is just simply soak them in a little bit of salt water so that they're able to purge all the sand from the inside. And then I'm going to go through and wash these all thoroughly to make sure there's no grit or dirt on the outside. And then I'll look over each single one and make sure that they're all tightly closed just like this. If there's any clams that are opened, you want to discard those because they are not good to eat. Once the clams are inspected and are all clean, we're going to take them over to the stove with the rest of our ingredients and get cooking. To start off, I'm going to add some avocado oil to a wok over high heat, and then I'm going to add in the shallots. I'm going to cook the shallots for about 30 seconds and then add in our garlic and our ginger. I'm going to cook that for another 30 seconds and then add in the dried red chilies, followed by the green Anaheim peppers as well. I'm going to cook that for another 30 seconds and then add in the black beans, followed by all of the delicious clams. Once the clams are in, I'm going to add the black bean sauce on top, and then I'm going to add in about half a cup of Shaoxing wine in order to make a delicious sauce to go with the clams. Simply just going to use my metal spatula to toss everything together, and then I'm going to cover the wok with a lid and let it steam until all of the clams are opened. After about 5 minutes of steaming over high heat, all of the clams are done and should all be opened. Again, if they're not opened, make sure you discard them. As a final touch, I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch and water that I've mixed together to help thicken up all that delicious clam juice found at the bottom of the wok. Once the sauce is thickened up, we're just going to simply remove it from the heat and we'll serve it right away. I like to put all of these delicious clams in a big bowl and add the sauce on top, and as a final garnish, I like to sprinkle it with a little bit of cilantro for some extra color. And that is how you make my recipe for clams in black bean sauce. Whether it's Lunar New Year or not, this is an excellent seafood recipe to prepare, but for Lunar New Year, make sure that this is on your table to bring all of that prosperity to you, your friends, and your family. And that is it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you hit the like button as well as the red subscribe button down below for more delicious Lunar New Year recipes like this one. Also, make sure to check me out on Instagram to see what other recipes I'll be preparing for Lunar New Year this year, as well as my blog for lots of delicious Lunar New Year recipes. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.